Hi, thanks so much for tuning in. In this video, we're going to talk to my CFO and partner, Tracey, about some of the things that you need to look for when financing your project. So most people think when you're building a project that you pay the first payment and then you kind of disappear until the end of the job and make a payment then, but that's not really how it works. So Tracey, why don't you tell us how we bill and what should people expect when they're building a project?
So typically what happens is that we bill either once a month or twice a month in regular intervals. So every month or every 2 weeks, depending on the bill cycle, the project manager will walk the job and he'll say, oh, the HVAC is done 15% and the plumbing is done 20%, but the drywall is done 45%, and so on and so on and so on. And we bill each line item accordingly. And then we expect payment from the client, because in turn we are also responsible to pay the subcontractors who are working on the job to the same extent. At the same time, we always withhold 5 or 10% retention, which is a mechanism that allows the client protection in the event that something isn't 100% correct. They have a little slice of the pie that they hold back to the very end as insurance.
Right, and so if your bill is $100,000 for that period, you will hold back 10% or $10,000 in retention until the project is 100% done. So let's break this down. When you're hiring a contractor, you're going to expect to see line items called general conditions, fee, and insurance. General conditions comprise the direct cost from the contractor to the client of what it costs to man the job. Manning the job includes field supervisors, laborers to clean up, the containers to remove all the rubbish, protection of your space, and other odds and items. In addition, there's insurance. Insurance is the cost that it is from the general contractor to the insurance company for the total cost of the project, which is different in every state, but usually is from 2% to 3%. And then there's the fee. The fee is the profit that the general contractor makes on building the project.
We'll typically bill for 20 to 30% of the overall cost as a deposit. That money in turn is paid out to various people because we need to man the job, get materials there, make sure all the safety equipment, secure all the insurances, do all the startup, get toilets in place.
And each subcontractor wants their share of that too.
Yeah, and also there are like long lead items, so sometimes it's not exactly that everybody gets the 30% we bill, but sometimes if you have like HVAC items which are long lead, that requires a really big down payment to buy the equipment. Yeah. So we've got to fund all that so that 4 weeks down the road, that air conditioning unit is going to be on your doorstep. And then after that period, you can expect every 30 days to get a bill from me.
And you will.
And at that time, we'll also provide you with a lien waiver saying that from the prior requisition, everything was paid, and we've paid out all our subs accordingly, and we are absolving you from the potential of any kind of legal action in the form of a lien on your property.
That's a really important fact, Tracey, and I think it's...
Most people don't even understand that until they're in a bad position.
Every time, whether you're doing a residential project or a commercial project, before you pay that next payment, make sure that the contractor gives you a lien waiver, which basically is what that does, is the contractor is telling you that they've paid everybody according to the AIA requisition. And you can even check that because the subcontractor needs to pay both materials and the workmen.
And they're signing lien waivers in turn for us. So basically what happened is everything is dovetailing to make sure you get a free and clear property title. Especially here at Evergreen, we want your focus to be on the construction project and the beauty of that and getting through that. We don't want you to worry about all this other stuff. Another really important factor is to make sure everybody on the job site has got workers' comp insurance. You really have to go on and check to make sure people not only had insurance, but maintain insurance.
Right. Yeah, and you want to make sure that you actually call the insurance carrier, because I've personally seen, and I'm sure you have too, where, you know, the policy was not in force. And if somebody gets hurt on the job, you're getting sued. So it's really important to make sure that whoever you hire has a general liability policy and a workers' comp policy that's in force.
Probably even more so in a residential build out. I mean, in commercial build outs, everybody's pretty savvy to the fact, and that's pretty well maintained. But homeowners, you hire an excavator and you get somebody, oh, Joe is a bargain. He's $1,800. Well, guess what? Joe probably doesn't have any insurance, and if he flips that backhoe on your property, you're probably going to have a $100,000 suit on your house.
Yeah. We met working for a couple of Neanderthals who ran a construction company, and we realized that this is not the right way to run a construction company. So while she was still there, I decided to start Evergreen Construction, and then she came and followed, and it was like the greatest day of my life when she came aboard.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Actually, they kind of put us together. It was
They did.
so funny. That was
Yeah.
the best thing they ever did.
They really did. They didn't know that they were creating like this magical.
The next level.
Yeah, yeah, and I, you know, I have to say it's so amazing when you love the person that you work with, and
there's that trust component,
Yeah.
right? You know, I mean, that's so important. Like, I know every day that Barbara's out there doing her magic, and she knows I'm in here with my head down, crunching the numbers, or we're all just checking and double checking, because it's so important for us to have
yeah,
as close of a paradigm of perfection in this business as we can, because we've seen
yeah.
the other side.
And the greatest thing is, you know, you don't have to be great at everything, and we each know what
Our limitations
yeah
are.
we're good at, and she knows what I'm good at, and I know what she's good at, and we both come together in the end, and we support each other, and we give each other what we need. So I'm lucky enough to have Tracey as my partner in CFO. But when you're starting from scratch and you don't have a lot of resources, it's really hard to pay for extra support if you're just trying to support yourself at the time. So there are things that you can do as far as making sure that your finances are in order, and Tracey's going to tell you a couple of those things.
Make sure you get legally organized appropriately. You can do this with an attorney. You can, if you're well versed, you can do this yourself. You have to determine what kind of organization you are, an LLC, a corporation, an S Corp. Then once you get going, my top, I make people crazy with this.
Your top tip.
My top tip, organization, organization, organization. Now, you can do it old school, where you just keep a check register and write everything down and keep it. But for my expertise, I would say go with one of the commercial packages available. Very, very inexpensive monthly cost. Probably can get something for $50 or so, an online program that will help guide you through, give you some advice, how to set up a chart for accounts, how to bill.
What are some of those packages, like QuickBooks?
QuickBooks is a great source. It's more difficult in construction because of job costing, which we don't need to get into accounting 101 here. But for a regular business, QuickBooks is a great alternative. You're able to do, you know, your accounts receivable, accounts payable, chart of accounts, trial balance, you know, financials, and they'll walk you through for additional costs. You can probably set up a payroll. It's very, very important when doing this, if you're going to have employees, that you follow the rules. You gotta follow the rules, because that's how you get in trouble.
Well, so what are some of the things that you can do or you shouldn't do?
Well, you know, if you're going to have people working for you, you have to decide, are they an employee? And if so, they should be on payroll. And if you're on payroll, you should follow the rules in your state, which vary from state to state, but basically that, you know, you have to maintain the minimum hours rules and minimum pay rules and minimum wage rules and post all the notices. And, you know, a lot of this is compliance issues, and it's so important. And today with the World Wide Web, it makes it so much easier to get information. And probably your small business association will be able to help you too with that.
And if you're a woman-owned business, you should file in your respective state to receive incentives, you know, with your state government. I started in a shopping center handing out business cards because I had no resources. So I had $60 that I invested in business cards. So when there's a will, there's a way. If you really have a passion for a certain business and you're really, an expertise in something, whether it be catering or fashion or PR or construction or engineering, anybody can start their own business.
There's plenty of opportunities, ladies. Go look.
Yes. I hope you guys got some good information on how to finance your next construction project and some of the things you can do when starting your own business. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And until next time, we look forward to seeing you then.